We are living in an age of just incredible technological marvels, right? But one of the biggest revolutions is happening kind of quietly in our hospitals and clinics. We're talking about the power of AI in healthcare. And, well, it's a story that has both this amazing promise and a huge challenge we absolutely have to solve.
At the very heart of this whole thing is artificial intelligence. AI isn't some sci-fi movie concept anymore. It's a real, powerful tool that is fundamentally changing how we diagnose, treat, and even prevent illness.
So think of AI as like the ultimate assistant for doctors. It's helping them catch diseases with way more accuracy, it's personalizing treatments just for you, and at the end of the day, it's helping save more lives. It's getting so good that in some cases, its skills are right up there with human experts.
And no, this isn't science fiction. This is the very real promise of what we might call the AI doctor. And to see just how powerful it can be, we just need to look at one of the biggest challenges in medicine right now.
Okay, let's talk about cardiovascular disease. It's one of the leading causes of death on the entire planet. AI is already on the front lines, helping doctors look at these really complex scans and spot heart conditions with a level of precision that honestly was just unimaginable a few years ago.
But what if this amazing new tool has a hidden flaw, a glitch? And not just some tiny bug in the code, but something much, much more dangerous.
And this leads us to what is probably the most important question in all of this. Because for a technology to be truly revolutionary, it can't just work for some of us, right? It has to work for all of us.
And the answer, which is really disturbing, is no. Research uncovered a staggering 20% higher error rate in AI diagnoses for Hispanic patients when you compare them to non-Hispanic white patients. And listen, this isn't a small difference. It is a massive, potentially life-threatening gap.
And a 20% error rate, that's not just a number on a spreadsheet. It translates into absolutely devastating real-world consequences. We're talking about misdiagnoses, treatments that get delayed, and families who are facing worse health outcomes, all because the algorithm simply failed them.
So how can a tool that's designed to be completely objective have such a deeply biased result? Well, when we start to unpack the why behind it, we find there are really two fundamental flaws in how these AI systems are being built.
So the first problem is all about what the AI learns from. Imagine the AI is like a medical student. If all of its textbooks, all of its case studies only show one type of patient, well, it's going to be completely lost when it finally sees a patient who looks different. It's going to fail the test.
And this chart just illustrates the problem perfectly. It's kind of shocking, really. In so many of the huge data sets that are used to train these powerful AIs, fewer than 5% of the people in them are Hispanic. With that little information to go on, the AI just can't learn the unique health patterns or the risk factors for this entire population. It's basically impossible. But that data gap, that's only part one of the story. The second major failure is all about context. The AI sees the lab results, it sees the scans, but it's often completely blind to what's going on in the patient's actual life. And this is where we get into this idea of social determinants of health, or SDOH for short. It's basically a term for all the non-medical things that shape our health, the stuff that happens way outside a hospital's walls. I mean, just think about it for a second. A person's income, their access to healthy food, whether they face language barriers, these factors have a direct impact on their diet, their stress levels, their ability to even get to a doctor. All of that is critical for heart health. But right now, most AI models are totally blind to this vital information.
So the situation is pretty serious, but it is not hopeless. In fact, researchers have mapped out a really clear path forward. It's all about intentionally coding for equity.
So on the technical side of things, engineers have this three-part toolkit to fix the problem. First up is pre-processing. You go in and you actively fix the biased data before the AI even starts learning from it. Second is in-processing. This is where you build fairness rules right into the algorithm itself, essentially teaching it not to discriminate. And then finally, you have post-processing, where you can check and adjust the AI's final predictions to correct for any bias that's left over.
But here's the thing, a technical fix is not going to be enough. It's just not. The problem is systemic, so the solution has to be systemic too. This means we have to mandate inclusive data collection from the very beginning. It means we have to require that those social determinants of health are part of every single model. And it means we need strong regulations and constant monitoring for what's called fairness drift to make sure these systems don't become biased again over time.
And this really brings us to the core of it all, captured perfectly in this quote. Bias in an AI system, it's not a technical bug. It's a mirror. It's reflecting the inequalities that already exist in our healthcare system and in our society. The AI didn't invent this problem. It learned it from us.
AI is here. It's already shaping the future of medicine. So the only question that's left, the one we all have to answer, is this: how are we going to make sure that future is a fair one for everyone?